Okay, the mic is sounding now. I wanted to be sure that the mic is sounding. Okay. Yippee. Hey Jeff, how are you doing? Hope you're good. Woo. Hope you're doing good, Jeff. Hope you're great. Hope you are amazing. Noye Wakwa, greetings. Noye, how are you? Hope you're great. Okay, so this is day one of a new series we're starting that is basically centered around opportunities. So we call it Opportunities Launch Break, right? Why Opportunities Launch Break? So it's caught in within a moment whereby people would have their break in the morning hours, in the noon hours, and depending on whatever time zone. I think it's a collate a lot of people from various time zones, not particularly just one time zone. And one of the reasons why I think our inspiration came from the fact that when we started the 30 days Aurum training, which is going to be, I think today should be day 20 or day 21. So we've got like 8 or 9 days left, and then the Aurum whatever is going to be over. But the inspiration came from that, in that if we can be consistently to show up 30 minutes, 1 hour every day on that means we can actually still show up at a specific time every day when I can, to double down in the opportunities in this season. Because I strongly believe, right, there's a saying where we say, I think it's from Game of Thrones, where you say chaos is a ladder. Chaos is a ladder, which means the greater the chaos, the greater the opportunity. There's no greater time. You know, when people talk about wealth transfer is not when everything is fine. It's not when the whole market is okay. That's not when wealth transfer happens. Wealth transfer, it happens when there's chaos and confusion, right? In fact, when there's no momentum, that's where it begins, right? So that spark that brings people to rush into crypto, get people excited into crypto, that spark happens when wealth transfer occurs. So you see somebody who made 1,000x, 5,000x, 10,000x, you're super excited, and boom, you want to get into crypto. Now, what you don't know is that person who made that 5,000, that 10,000x, what the person was doing was what we are about to start doing right now within ourselves on a daily basis. As much as I'm able to, make myself available. So maybe there are some noons I won't be available, which is quite okay, quite all right. But as much as I can make myself available, I will try my best to make myself available. All you just need to do is, when you join in, share the link, and let's get more persons on the call as well. Godwin GM, how are you doing, Godwin? Hope you're great. How's your day going? AJ, how are you? Hope you are doing awesome as well. How's Anya, Jeff, Shifu? I'm good. How about you? I'm great. I just stepped in. I had to come in because of this. I was somewhere actually, and I needed to finish up wrap up fast. I just timed myself that I had to come in for this and have this session. I have like an hour to do this, or less than that, because I have another meeting to catch up to. So once I'm done, I'll head to the downstairs, hit the car, and zoom off. Okay, doing great, awesome, amazing. Jacob says, good afternoon, sir. Great Shifu, son of God. Thank you. How are you doing as well? Hope you are good as well. So what we're doing here is basically we're locking in, right? And it's called Opportunity Launch Break because it's not fixated on just one thing. We want to explore whatever is happening in the market, right? In terms of crypto, in terms of Forex, in terms of stocks, we'll look at the chart. And I think there's no better time to do all these things than when it's in the New York session. The New York session, most of you know that New York session is when I trade. It's when I look at the market, when I'm able to, it's when we get the proper directional movement of the financial market for a given day is in the New York session. Now, some of the things we may get to talk about here could be slightly connected to what I have said to you. And one of the things my approach this year is based on how I've seen the year to be in terms of the market is going to be, and also not just this year alone, how I've seen the next 3, 4, 5 years to be. And I hope I should be able to go away with this. Now put this. Okay. My approach this year is connected to one, looking out for these asymmetrical bet opportunities right now that I believe gives me, let me use that word now myself, the upside advantage of turning as little as $100 to as high as $10,000. There's no better time to see those kinds of opportunity than now. But another downside to this is it's like you're going down the rabbit hole of degen, whereby some of these things are going to be chaos, right? They're going to be chaotic in the terms of the market. Look at the way the market is. You buy in a coin now, it moves up. A coin that's supposed to do like 1,000,000x, this X can just. But then again, you will need to like watch it, how it moves. Let me use something as a case study, for example. Now I want to use something which I know I shared. Okay, Godwin says I'm good. Great. Tell me, Mrs. Tell me, how are you doing? How is your day going as well? Hope you're good. You're doing great. The reason I'm using this earpiece is because I like this soothing background sound I have playing on the live. So I said I want to share the screen. I want to look at something, right? What's the name of this coin again? I'm coming, not this one on my screen though. Okay, I think I've gotten it. OSO. I just want to use this as a practical case study. It's called OSO bot, right? Now, I want you to take a look at this coin. This is going to be a case study, like a very practical case study of what I am trying to say or reiterate now. Let me put myself to be a bit lower. Okay. Now, I gave this coin to people in the bull run group when it was somewhere around 1 million market cap. And after we did that, and this was in February, right, we had the coin come down in value to somewhere around 300k market cap. So if you have to factor that in, let's say 1 million, right? 1 million minus, that's about minus 70%. And now, obviously, people buy in at different time zones. So let's say somebody buys in at 400k, so another person buys on 500k, another person buys in at 300k, whatever this year they go in, right? And then it's skyrocketed heavily on the 23rd of February to as high as 1.5 million market cap. So that puts it at 50% on the initial entry, and it puts it at 500% on the bottom entry. Pay attention to this because you're going to get a case study very, very well that's going to help you even as we navigate the trenches together, because we're going deep into the trenches this season. Now, after this rally on the 27th of February, it started coming down again, and it came down to somewhere around 300 and 400k market cap. And just yesterday, it had a massive fundamentals from around 400k market cap to 1 million market cap. That is like 150% pump in one single day. Now, I do not know why it's moved up like that. I have no information why it's pumped that way. But then again, I've got good sources, right, who shared the alpha to me and told me the coin is a good coin, is a good protocol, and all that put together. But then again, imagine if somebody approaches the market this season by throwing in their full capital. Let's say Just like when we say you're trading forex now and there's a low probability trade, we say we call down our entries, we call down our risks, right? Or we've got 2 entries, we split. That's the same way if I'm approaching investing in any asymmetrical bets right now, I double down, right? I split my entries to give the possibility that, okay, we could get this coming down to a particular level. And that is because of how the market is right now. But despite the way the market is right now, there are so many opportunities right now that somebody could have made 500% on just that run. Now, if you make 500% in a market that is like this, that is as bad as this, would you want to hold? Even if you want to hold, trust me, 90% of people out there will not want to hold. That is the current market situation in crypto, in the trenches, right? So what is going to happen? There's going to be a switch of people who don't want to hold and the people who want to always get in. And it now falls down to, is it a product that is going to continue delivering regardless of the market condition? That is just what we want to, that's just what we want. What you get to see me spreading my money around now. You just see me throwing my money around, spending my money around like $100 a year. I mean, what I would have necessarily want to put in $1,000 before, or $2,000 or $5,000. My normal purchase when it comes to crypto stuff is $5,000, right? If I go lower than that, $2,000, $3,000 just on a single play. But now I wouldn't want to do that again because I don't need to. All I just need to do is $100, $200. The same with people, those of you who maybe you were betting with 500, 1,000, you don't need to use that same figure right now. It could be $50, it could be $100. Why? Because the upside potential in terms of the risk and reward, it's unbelievable right now. We know generally a lot of portfolios are down, it is normal. But at the same time, so much opportunity lies in the market in this season and in this time, this era. So what one needs to do is, okay, whatever I'm throwing the money around is not just meme coins or this one with shit coins. It has to be a product that I know that is viable in the short term, in the mid term, as well as this, as far as this year is concerned. And now, take note of what I'm about to say. In the month of April, I mean within the next 60 days, the first set of millionaires, six-figure earners, and billionaires out of crypto will be born in the next 60 days. If I want to make it to be a bit more conservative, we could say in the next 90 days. So the next era of wealth transfer, the first phase of wealth transfer, is not going to be in 2027. Or for sure, the wealth transfer in 2027. The wealth transfer in 2028. Whatever long-term macro projection there is. But the first wave is happening within the next 90 days. And how that happens is based on understanding times and seasons. In the season we are in now, in the time we are in now, and then playing around that way. Not thinking, not approaching it like a bull market. Remember what I just said about capital allocation. Capital allocation is king right now. One has to be careful. One has to be careful because if you're very wide in capital allocation, what happens is that you could turn over your money very, very fast and always have something spare up and something to rotate. So let's the example I just used just now. Imagine if someone applies on that, right? So let's say someone decides to double down, right, with $100, and the person's initial plan is he has $200, but the person uses $100 here. Or let's say the person has $100. Let's just use $100, right? I want to use very, very minimum. It's just a very small amount of money. Right now, I'm not talking about big amounts. So let's say the person has $100, right? And doubles that at the initial entry of $1 million. And then it came down to this low of $300. And the person decides to use $50 here, split the 100 into $50 here, and at the bottom, another $50. What happens? When this got here, the first $50 is going to be worth $75. And the second $50 is going to be worth $250. When you add $250 plus $75, what does the person have? $325. That means the person actually has had 3 times their whole capital. So what can the person now do? sell off the $200, which is extra profit, and leave the $100 initial to run and ride while expecting that change or that move or that wave over the next 60 days, over the next 90 days, over this period of time. This is just one phase, right? Just one thing of a bigger text, bigger context of things, of a bigger approach to things. Just one phase, a bigger approach to things. I hope we get that very, very well, right? I hope we get that explanation I just did right now. If we got the explanation very well with much clarity, feel free to let me know. Okay. Then obviously we've got the King Kong, right? The King Kong, this is the second one. The second one is the King Kong, right? We've got King Kong platforms, King Kong which has to be like major, your safe havens. Those ones you're certain. We've got Solana, Ripple, Bitcoin, the likes of them, and all that, Ethereum and blah 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 that we know. Those ones I am not really entering into them right now, right? Because I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go down in value more than where it is right now. So until it gets down again, lower than where it is, I wouldn't be entering or buying any of such. The opportunity isn't there right now. There is opportunity there if you're willing to wait. But I'm just speaking based on the perspective that a lot of people here do not have so much capital stockpiled somewhere. If you have a big capital stockpile, I could tell you which of them you could start to see into from now over the next 9 months that could literally quadruple by 2027, 2028, right? But if you're not in the category, want to approach it like want to approach the market, seizing the opportunity like we don't have anything, right? Want to double down in that way, in that aspect, like we are just starting from the scratch. This is what happens in trenches. So if you look at that perspective, that's the second thing, right? The third thing is having that multiple opportunities to leverage the season and generate capital. That's why we trade. That's why we invest. That's why we have the Aurum business. We talk about the Aurum every evening, right? We share about what Aurum offers. We post about Aurum. We talk about that. Is why that is there, because that gives you income in the market. No matter whether Bitcoin is going down, the market is bad, there's still an opportunity, and it gives you access to constant capital to deploy for opportunities as they arise. So let's go straight into that rabbit hole. Look at a 1, 2, 3 assets, and then we'll get out of that rabbit hole, and then we're going to go into the rabbit hole of forex, synthetic indices, and trades, and all that put together. I'm probably going to be sharing those setups as well on the Telegram, right? If you're not on the Telegram, you can see on the screen at the top, is it the left or the right? I don't know if it's right for you or left for you. One of the spots you should see there where it has the QR code. So if you scan the QR code, it takes you to the Telegram. If you're not in the Telegram, to join there as well. So most of the charts will be posted there if needs be, in terms of charts being posted, right? And we're just looking through all this, right? We're just looking through all this and discussing our perspectives. And feel free to always ask what you think, share what you think in share what you think. Feel free to ask. This launch break is more about discussions, right? And more about rubbing minds to uncover opportunities. It's not about me coming to sit and just do one full blow-on presentation. We get that. So I think I want to first of all talk about there was a call I think I mentioned, which it did a run, and then they had like a major panic sale on the BNB chain that had something to do with I think AI and prediction markets. So I think this is it. So we had this. I think we had a call like this. This was just launched when again This was on 28th of February. So it's almost 28th of February again. 28th of February was just precisely 5 days ago, right? And this was when I dropped the call, and it ran as high as 140k market cap, right? So from this point of entry, when I dropped it around 60k region, 60k region, when I dropped it, it ran to 140k. So that's over 140%, right? 140, 150%. And then I had a crazy panic sale. I do not know what was going on anymore. I'm not in the community. I'm not in the Telegram. I'm just out, right? I look at opportunities I see and I double down. I don't like joining Telegrams. I'm already in a lot of Telegrams. And since my Telegram, I had the experience where my Telegram got hacked, right? And I lost a Telegram. I'm no longer interested in joining the Telegrams, right? So I don't really know what happens in the community, except I get some information and explanation from someone. But I think there was some panic sale, crazy panic sale as well. But for this is what I think, right? This is just my own biased opinion, because already they've got over 1,000 holders, right? And I think in a normal market context, right, where if the market was very stable and very good, this should have easily just been at least 1 million market cap at this time. And then now that it is down, it should be at least, even if it dropped, it should have retraced like 300k. So where it is now is at 32k. In a normal market condition, I think it should be at least 300 to 400k. That's what I believe, right? But however, what could be the playbook for this is if the team delivers the product, because everything rises and falls onto product. Remember what I talked about initially, that the product is everything this season, because those are the teams that will deliver that life-changing games for you. Are they delivering the products? The product being readily made available. The obvious regarding that is what is going to spawn people's interest. A lot of extra organic push when we look at that. Right, so let me click on the website and let's get to the website, for example. So we see here now, this is what it said. It's an amazing utility, obviously, a good utility, an awesome utility. But right now, the market condition is not. A lot of people are not just depending on utility alone. They want to see that they can actually start making predictions. They can actually start taking the steps. So if they can't start doing it right in real time, a lot of people are going to go. I think this can now get to go bonkers. So you can see here, get started for free, where it tells you to create an account. I don't know if any of you guys have explored this yet. If you've explored it, let me know. Have anybody yet explored this? Let me know if you've explored it in the comment section. Have you explored it? Have you tried exploring it yet? So because right now, I think a lot of the interface directs you to poly markets. It redirects you to poly markets. So because it's still in its beta stage, right? But I want to show a very similar example, right, with a token I just started buying not too long ago. Let me look for that token again. I just started buying this token not long ago. This one here. Let me type it. And I think I'm going to create a playlist for our afternoon sessions. So whatever I refer to during our playlist session, we'll get to. They're going to be like on that playlist, so I can always like make reference to it. So it's currently on Solana chain, right? I started buying this with just a small amount of money, right? It's just just the little $100 sort of throwing small money here there, and these guys had something very similar. They're about 12 days old. So let's say, preferably, give or take, this is like 2 weeks now. Give or take, they're like 2 weeks old, right? And if you, from my perspective, you see the same thing happened here when they launched. It got down really, really bad. When it went down, it took about a week or so, and they started getting momentum to making new highs and ran really, really well from here to here. This was like the same thing I thought initially, right? This is like from this low to this point, we're talking a 10x. So nobody would see the 10x in this market right now. Wouldn't want to take profits. People would definitely want to take profits. It's a normal thing. So you just have to think in terms of market sentiment. What would people want to do in this current market condition? People are very greedy, more greedy than ever right now, because there's so much fear in the market. So much fear in the market. Let me add this here in terms of manage lists. So create lists. List must have a name. Okay. Opportunities. Lunch break. So let me see if I can just add this here, so I can always check it out from time to time. So when you look at this, now, let me give you a thesis behind this, right? If you go to the, what's it called now? Scroll down on the deck screener, you go to the website. Now, just from the deck screener stuff, you could see here on the screen where it says the future of creation. Aegis Cloud AI transforms your words into codes, builds, modify, and deploys website through natural conversational language. Now, in case this flies over some people's head, what does this mean? It means that you can use prompts and build a website with their tool. How does that sound, guys? Are you actually here? Are you with me? How does that sound? I'm just giving you a case study, right? I'm using it as an example, right? So if you look here, I'm sharing, this is their website. So with their websites, you can build websites, right? With their AI, you can build a website with just simple code. And they announced, I think, an app. I think they are launching their app, which makes it very easier for people like Cloud AI right now. So if you see here now, I have got access into the protocol and the command deck. This is the command, blah, 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 blah. So here you name your projects, adjust version, export your work. This is where you manage your products, create models, folders, organize, communicate your vision to adjust, use natural language directive to build complete components or entire website instantly. Where's that? Aegis Cloud chart. Okay. Core metrics editor. Okay. Enter metrics. Live simulation of your project. Toggle between mobile, tablet. Okay. Enter metrics. Okay. So let us try it. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's try it out. I want you to build me a website that shows my catalog of daily live stream events across my social media platforms. Let me just type that. I don't know. Let's see if it's gonna work. So it says here, synchronizing. I'm gonna watch it. Interesting to see what it could do. So something like this, right? That they've got utility going on. People could use, can invest. I think the more people get to see these things, the more people get to use these things, the more people become more confident about this, the more people become more excited about it. And then what happens? The more people are able to really see, okay, this is working, this is good. And I feel like we haven't really even entered the rabbit hole of AI enough. So this shows a bit of how the website is going to look, right? On PC, so on mobile, this is how it's going to show on tablet as well. So what's interesting is I can actually now put in links, right? So let me open a new tab. So if I open this a new tab, this is the website now. I can now add the domain and change all these things. If you have an idea of code, you could. So I could just be adding the prompt I need to add here, and their models, their templates. So I think it's something that one gets deeper into the rabbit hole, you begin to understand. And you can literally just import this, right? You can import whatever you built around this. You can import it. So I think it's quite incredible. It's quite incredible. If it gets bigger than this, better than this, it could, with exploring, right? Being able to just build a website for yourself as at a go, right? So this is just like a case, just a simple one-on-one, right there. And then they've got this one too. I don't know, right? But I think in terms of having something that looks like, let's say this is a meme coin, this is something that is just there. I think this just plays one kind of funny category, right? It just, the idea is just funny, right? And that it's is the BTC 2.0. So it's something that, I mean, it's up a good number already from when I first bought it, and when I also first got to share it to my bull run group members, right? It's up like twice, right? It did the first awesome rally, so it went up, did this first rally, if I'm not mistaken, came down again, did the second rally again, right? And it's just been hovering ever since. You know, those kinds of things that could just, it just does what it wants to do. So most times, all this, and then the crazy thing that any these things could also go down to zero, right? They could just literally go on to zero. But the good thing is the asymmetrical upside we could get to have in opportunities like this in this season, whereby there could be some strong level of momentum. You look at the structure, right? You look at the structure. What has this occurred during the season? And if you've been attention, a lot of these things I've been talking about, a good number of them are things that got launched in February, right? So what these guys are trying to do here is they're trying to replicate Bitcoin on Solana, so which refer to Bitcoin 2.0. So they said that if you missed that on, they've got like a group on Twitter. So I think if you go to Twitter, let's go to Twitter and see what's happening there. Okay, so I think if you see here, you're gonna see what looks more like their community group. So it's more like a community group, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got like agents that are admins constantly updating. It's funny that things like this, you just get this random comment by some major influential people that just goes crazy for it, really crazy for it as well. Really crazy. Okay, quickly, let's go through the rabbit hole of assets like synthetic indices quickly, and then we look on the other side of, let's say, Forex and stuff as well. So we start with V100 1S. So we've been on a sell on this, right, which is what I gave on was it Sunday or so when the week started, and it's done almost about a 4-hour trade, which is very good profit. I think this was the first trade for the week, and it gave a lot of money. So if you don't have an account with Deriv, we have the link on the Telegram, so you can check on the Telegram. You should see the link there. On the Telegram, you can actually get the link from there and set up an account with them. All right. Let me say check out Creators. Okay, I'm gonna check out Creators a bit. Let me just wrap up this. So this I think right, I think I said it earlier that we should close it. So we could close this in terms of it's gonna come profits, but If we get a pullback, this is what I'm going to be looking out for in terms of favoring the, I don't know if it's going to like get there right now, but initially I was looking at this buy here, it's coming to buy to sell, but doesn't look like that's what's want to work now, but don't know. So okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the image, right, and go to our trading network on Telegram, and I'm just going to paste it there. So this is for V101S. So you just already have the idea. I may not type anything other than what is here already. So basically you already have the idea that initially I posted V101S in the morning, but not like a full detail of the charts in terms of what I'm looking at, right? If it comes down to here, then I'll look into maybe buy it upwards to continue selling downward. Like I said, the whole chart for this has totally changed from bullish to bearish. So basically that's my bias as regards this, right? And quickly let's go to another chart, and then I'll look through the coin that Favor just talked about now in the comments. Okay. So I'm sharing the next tab, and we're looking at V100. There's one interesting trade, right? And the reason I call it interesting is because I discovered that this asset is one, this asset that plays with people's emotions a lot. I feel like this asset is one of those assets, right? And the emotion started from here. This is where the journey started. Initially, am I sure? I'm coming. Yes, this is where our journey started. Started from here when it didn't get to the exact entry I wanted, and I said, okay, we should get in from here. And look at how it ranged. It ranged from 29th of January to like almost 2 weeks. So it took 2 weeks of ranging before it started moving as it should, moving back and forth, and then started moving, and then came down to here. So, and this first entry is like 7 RR. And the funny thing is, I haven't even closed the first entry yet. It's still running. I think I'm in some like, I don't know how much, but I know I'm in some good position on that entry. And then this was another entry which I now gave us. It went very close. Thank God we're not stopped out. Came back down again, went close, and then came real down. It's that's why I said it's a very stupid kind of asset class, but it does what it does. So I think it plays the thing with this particular V100 is that it plays with your emotions a lot before moving your direction. So and then it came down 3 RR already. So maybe if you are okay with that, I see some good profits, right? I wouldn't be the one to tell you how to trade, but the best I could do is show you my methodology, the risks I take, my pattern, how you can copy the trades I trade, how you can manage all the trades. I could do all that, right? Which I have already done and I'm still doing in terms of how I allocate, both in real time, where I move my trades and where I don't move. I do all that, right, for us from time to time. So if you literally just maybe follow how I do, you could also be in a lot of money for yourself. Then entering today, right? Entering today, I shared the first entry. I said there are going to be 2 entries. So this was the first entry. And now, initially, this was the main entry I've got, which is the one above where it is right now. However, I just felt like, this stuff could just be stupid and could crazy. And when I mean stupid and crazy, then it could just decide to just want to continue going down. And that's what, like, okay, I'm going to split my risk, right? What I should have risked in one, split into two positions. I have something here, I got another thing here as well. So it came up back in here, and it's currently dribbling down the area, down the zone. But our stop loss has like a good space. But I'm really projecting to go down very well, because if it's go as low as I'm expecting, that's going to be like an 18 RR. You know what an 18 RR is? It means I'm going to make 18 times. 18 times, that's some real good amount of gains. There about. So let me copy this as well and send to the group chart V100. So I'm going to update the, I'm going to copy the, what's it called now? Ctrl+C. There's like a write-up we usually copy when I post these things. So I think this two is quite enough, because if this two goes in, one could make a lot of money, right? Out of like both of them, if both really goes in. So let me quickly just go through and see. Check out Cretus. I'm expecting a product launch from them. Cretus. Is the ticker Cretus itself, or CKRT or S? Is it this one on base, or is it this one on BNB? So there are two here, and both of them is saying 3 months old and 4 months old. So which of the creators are you referring to? The one on base or the one on BNB? Bots, please, can we get a detailed video on how to open deposits and withdraw on Deriv? Okay, how to open deposits and withdraw on Deriv. A video on how to open deposits and withdraw on Deriv. Okay. Let me send the message to K. So I'm sending a message to someone who should be able to do that. And if the person does it, we get to upload it on the I've sent it to Caleb, so I don't know if Caleb can do that. Favor says Kratos on BSC, the second. Okay. Kratos. Okay. So apparently Kratos was launched sometime last year, and then it came down very well to like 12th February to as high as 76. Nice. So it did a little bit of a rally, and it looks like it's finding a base here. It looks like a meme coin. Kratos token represents strength, unity, and community. Kratos and symbol of collective mark. Blah blah blah. Now the thing with meme coins is if it's going to actually have a product around it. So I'm going to check the websites and the Twitter to see. So this is their website. The legendary cross-chain warrior armed with AI detector, ready to pump you back and destroy. Okay. Okay, what's their roadmap? I see. I think the thing, this just looks very basic, to be honestly. That's just what I think. They look very basic in terms of it just looks very, very basic in terms of it's a meme coin. It's a meme coin. I mean, if they've got a solid community, right, pushing the meme narrative around it, we could get it. It could, right? Anything is possible in this market season. Although I'm not really much into meme coins. I'm more this except established ones. There's like major nano cap meme coins. I feel like there's more asymmetric bets in nano caps that already have some sort of utility running. Right, I feel like there's so much opportunity there. Okay, I need to remove this from the screen now. Caleb says he can do it, so we'll have a video for people who want to know how to open, deposit, and withdraw on Deriv. We'll have a video between the next 3-4 days, and it's going to be uploaded for you guys. I've got 10 more minutes max, so let's quickly look through. Let's look on gold a bit, because I don't think I dropped something on gold earlier. I still had something here with this, but we know how this has been one of the coins that has given us so much stress, mental stress ever. Jesus Christ, this coin has given me this. I said this coin. I'm saying I'm calling it coin. This assets, EUGB, the worst asset ever in my life. I haven't seen an asset like this, for crying out loud. God, how many trades? So the first entry, we've got second entry, I got like 3 different entries only for it to just do how many RR. So stupid. The risk is involved is very, very bad. I think, okay, this is where I now gave us so we got this first move, we got the second move, 2 moves profit, and then I think this was the third move where we had an SL. Let me pick that off. We had an SL on that third move, right? Because this was like the second trade we had in the week. But then again, it's sitting at a good zone. I had the zone right initially, but it's not looking very, should I say, very solid. It's more like a low probability. It's a very low probability, but it could play out, right? It could play out. So I could just post the charts. If I'm posting the chart, I want to post any form of explanation for people who feel that they could take the risk. And also, you want to look out to be sure that another thing with these pairs too is that they have stupid kind of spread, right? So you want to be sure that the broker you're using has a good spread. If it's Deriv has the perfect spread for this. Spread on this in Deriv is perfect, right? But if it's not Deriv, right? If it's let's say the funded accounts like OFP or so, OFP has 2 versions of this. It has the EuroGBP and it has the EuroGBP.D. Now the .D is like the smaller version, and that smaller version has like more what's it called now? The smaller version has more little spread. It has lesser spread. That's the word. Lesser spread. Then I think I shared this early hours of the morning. The only thing I would say is just gold is very trickish, and I think we also said that it's a low probability too. So gold is extremely trickish right now. Extremely trickish right now. It's gonna either get stopped out in the next 1 hour, or it's gonna move in profit in the next 1 hour. So we know that by in 1 hour time. What happens in an hour time is the stock market, the US stock market, gets opened for the day. When that happens, what happens is either comes down or goes up, right? So usually depends on how you place your stop, right? Like I always say that you don't have to use the exact what I said, because sometimes I set it too tight and the picture may not be set in stone. But maybe someone, you could use like 4235, right? Or 4240 or 4245, whatever works for you. 4235 is fine, 4240, 4245. Sorry, 5235, 5240, any of that range works for you. But I just use this because I like tight stop loss as well. So usually you don't want to get wicked out. And also like this brokers too, you're using Mars as well. So it could, because if you look here too, this is like, there's like what's it called now? There's like is it imbalance or whatever it's called? Yeah, there's something there, right? So in case it wants to go there before it moves in direction, you are a bit safe, right? If you've got it like a little bit higher than that, just quite above that as well. But the bias was basically simple. It's just, it came down here, first entry, moved up again, came down. The bias is actually a very simple one, but though it's turning, the bias was simply that, okay, we had a sell already, and then we have a clean XABCD pattern forming, right? Which it's a bearish Gatly like this, actually a clean one. So based on this, we want to see something like this. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work as well. So, and honestly, I feel like instead of wanting to take both Euro GPP and ZO, I think it's best for one to just take one, because both of them are low probabilities, right? If you feel like you can't stomach 2 losses, it's better to take one. So if you have only 1 loss, you have only 1 loss, you can bear with that as well. Okay. It seems this guy is now dropping in profits, so we should clap our hands for that, right? Just clap our hands for that. Okay, guys, I've spent almost an hour here. I've got another meeting to jump into. So this is what we're gonna do almost every single day, and we look at trade setups, FOREX, what is happening in the markets, in equities and stocks, which we didn't talk about that today because time is already gone. But we'll look more into that as time goes on. Cryptos, gems, what I'm looking at, what I'm throwing a little $50, $100 around and see what comes out of it over the next 1 month or 2, right? And based on whatever is promising and just in random, right? And I think we have like created a playlist, so a watch list. So it's just gonna be on our watch list every time I mention one or mention 2. I just add it to the watch list and just add it to the watch list. So the watch list may get big and big and big and big and big and big. And hopefully we look to some good, amazing profit and loss as well, because there are definitely gonna be losses, right? So we look at both profits and losses as well as, but we aiming that there's gonna be more wins than the losses, right? We want to have more wins than just got. So I think that's all for today, and I hope we had a good time. Bye for now, everyone, and have an amazing noon. So see you in the evening for Aurum daily presentation.